Hey, what's up? It's Dominic D'Angelo. It's ad-free shows, and I am here today to talk a little rumor and innuendo. And we got a good show today. Going to talk a little bit about winter is coming, and we'll touch upon some other out of the realm wrestling news. I'll take a look at the dirt sheets and see what they have to say. But yeah, we'll be talking. Winter is coming. I think should be a good show on paper for AEW. I really think they need to address this Death Riders stuff and really get the ball rolling with this thing. It's overstayed its welcome, and it's not building to something exciting. Now, I know you have World's End coming up, and with a title like World's End as your pay-per-view, you would want to make that feel something significant, right? Like a change, something significantly big happening, company shifting happening. And I'm speaking from a storyline standpoint. So you could think that the payoff to this Death Riders angle would maybe happen then. But look, this is not like a good build to what they've been doing. I talked about this yesterday, I think, and it's just not. You cannot, this is like the fourth or fifth time I've said this. You cannot be afraid to pivot away from what you've been doing with this thing. If you need to blow this whole thing up because it's not working, do it. Do it. You have great heel factions already established in AEW now with the Hurt Syndicate taking over. And then you also have the Don Callis family, a legitimate, threatening looking faction, heel faction. Have them take out the Death Riders. Have you just completely move away from this angle that is not, it's not productive. The only thing that they're doing right by, and I said this before too on the show, is Claudio. Claudio is looking like how should have been portraying him and how WWE should have been portraying him for years on end. They're finally doing that now with him. So hopefully they continue that. But, and they'll have a chance to do that tonight too. I will have to download the graphic for the card. I got to go on X here and do that. But do you want to give some shout outs to some folks here in the crowd? We got Triple E wishing Rey Mysterio a happy birthday. Yes, happy birthday, Rey Mysterio. One of the best of all time across the board. That's not just for a luchador or a cruiserweight or junior heavyweight. That is across the board as pro wrestling. He's one of the best to ever do it. He's transcended the business. He transformed the business. And yes, a very, very happy birthday to him. One of the nicest people in all of pro wrestling. So shout out to Rey Mysterio. Shout out to Triple E. Shout out to Dre Owens. He says, winner is Innuendo. Okay, that's bad, but decent looking card tonight. It is a decent looking card. Devin Dallin is debating on pretending I'm sick and leaving work early. You know, tis the season, right? You can kind of do that. Wrestling Old Head says, Innuendo Wednesday. Hello to all. Let's talk Dynamite, where we have a pack of Mox against Orange Cream, or is it White Juice? Oh boy, yes. Well, White Juice was Jay White and Juice Robinson. So Orange Cream, I like that one. Orange Julius, perhaps. Wrestling Old Head says, I called out sick once from the lobby. Wow, that's some that takes some cojones. I had to pick up my check. That's too funny. Okay. Triple E, if you need someone to call a fake emergency, I got you. Do it occasionally. I got some good excuses I could use. Lou says, Cross dropped another 5-minute promo during the night, chastising bandwagon fans for abandoning the Wyatts after a loss. That's hilarious. I'll have to take a look at that one. So cool. Welcome, everybody. Feel free to pop in a question in the chat if you have one, and I will be happy to answer it. And it can be pertinent to what we're talking about when it comes to AEW Dynamite, or something else in the wrestling world. Feel free to chime on in. So let's see if I can find this card. Now, the funny thing is I scroll here, and I will defend it just a little bit, because as I scroll, I happen to see a little video preview for what they have for Dynamite tonight. So good on them. What I will say is the video packages leading up to these shows have been really well done. So, and that includes the stuff that they do for the Continental Classic, even though I don't think that the stakes are that high for this Continental Classic, considering it's a championship. Nobody really, it's Okada's title, but it's almost a forgotten championship. If we're really boiling it down to brass tacks here, you know. But okay, so I'm scrolling down. Let me save this image. Want to make sure everybody's able to see this. It's pretty good. It's a good card. It is a good card for what they got tonight. So hopefully they really deliver on what we're gonna get here. Because look, AEW momentum is picking up for WWE, and that's just simply for the fact, even just the simple fact that it's WrestleMania season and people get excited for that. But they've been doing a very good job at building these stories and making things compelling and making you kind of wonder and guess what is next to come on the WWE card and what is on tap for WrestleMania exactly. Who will be showing up? Where's John Cena going to play out in this? Where's Roman Reigns going to play out in this? How about Cody Rhodes? Who will he be facing? Is CM Punk really going to get his world title shot at this moment? Will this be the year? How is The Rock going to come into play? Who else will we see? Will we get any other surprises? WWE always has some tricks up their sleeves. And so it's really on AEW to kind of make themselves stand out at this point in time. So yes, this is getting down to business time right then for them. And so you want to see them deliver. So let's see if they can do that tonight with the card that they have in Winter is Coming. All right, you ready? Boom. And I am going to move. My cat just knocked over a Prime water bottle. This way. Hey. Okay, we're going to look at this card here. We got a main event of Jon Moxley and Pac versus on Orange Cream, as Wrestling Old Head put it. I think it was Wrestling Old Head that said that. But Orange Cassidy and Jay White taking on Jon Moxley and Pac. Right there, great match. You know, we don't get to see Jon Moxley wrestle too often on television right now, so it's cool to see him in the mix. But there's got to be something happening here. You have to make, you had him, like I said yesterday, I think it was, or the day before, like pouring liquid chemicals down Orange Cassidy's throat. What is the greater good in pouring cleaning agents down Orange Cassidy's throat? What purpose does that serve? It does not seem very productive in maybe what your goal is trying to achieve. So let's get some more ruthlessness going on. And I don't mean it to the fact that you're putting plastic bags over people's heads or using Mr. Clean to take out some of the top stars. You got to be like taking them out NWO style and taking them out and leaving them out. They got to be done. Okay. So hopefully they start doing that. Like this faction feels more like Riot Squad than it does NWO. And granted, they're much more violent and yes, evil than Riot Squad, but you got to just do something different. It's not working here. What could be working tonight is a good match here. Mariah May taking on Mina Shirakawa. So I like this. I think this is going to be a good match. I have not ever seen Shirakawa wrestle, to be honest. So I'm sure she's very talented. And we already know what Mariah May is capable of. So hopefully they have a good, fun match here that gets the crowd going. Trying to look here. I'd maybe lead off with that match. Why not? Right? Like make your women's division feel significant and kick it off Dynamite in a big way with these two going at it. Because I'm sure this is not over. I'm sure this is just a little stop for both of them. Where I think they're going to be building maybe more to this. I couldn't imagine Mariah May just beating Mina Shirakawa outright, but who knows? So I would lead off with this match. Man, look at this one. Jeez, I didn't even know. I saw Claudio on the card, but I didn't even do the due diligence and pan over to take a look. That's Will Ospreay. That's going to be a great match. And again, will they continue what they've been doing with Claudio? I guess this really answers the question. If they're really looking to, if there's any moment where they won't, this will be the moment because it's Will Ospreay. Man, I would have Claudio beat Will Ospreay right here too. I really would, because I honestly think Ospreay's kind of Teflon right now. And I think it was me and Robert talking that they did it was at the last pay-per-view, was it Full Gear, where they jobbed out your top 3 baby faces. While I don't think that's ultimately good to do on a continuous basis, I don't think this is necessarily a bad thing to do with Will Ospreay in a round robin tournament. So I think you really want to cultivate something with your Death Riders, and now with Claudio going up against Will Ospreay, I would have him get the win here and not miss a beat. Now that goes to Ricochet and Brody King. This is also a Continental Classic match. Ricochet needs to get some wins here. He's a babyface. So I'm saying the exact opposite of what I just said about Ospreay and Claudio, but Ricochet really needs some wins. You have this big time talent that you acquired from WWE, and you're jobbing him out. You're not doing a whole lot with him. He seems like just another guy. So anything you can do to build up Ricochet right now is pretty key. I love what Brody King's doing, by the way. But I do think it'll be time to get Ricochet have him bounce back, if you will. All right. We also have winner faces MJF at World's End. It's Adam Cole, baby, taking on Kyle O'Reilly. They've been teasing this for past couple of weeks, a little tension between these two friends, and now we're going to get them going at it to see who faces MJF. Should be a good match. Don't really, what Kyle O'Reilly's been doing hasn't been really doing it for me, and stuff like that, and I'm with Robert in this fact that they just got to get over this Adam Cole MJF thing. There's better things to do with both these guys. It's just this whole devil angle. I understand you want to get like some sort of completion out of this, but nobody was really attracted to that thing when it all unraveled and came out that Adam Cole was the devil and MJF was the babyface that was backstabbed, and the payoff wasn't good and the follow-up hasn't been good. And so just get rid of it. Let's move on. But we're not moving on till after World's End, whether it be, and hopefully it ends at World's End. Let's make that end for sure. So, not sure what else if they have on tap, but Kansas City, good wrestling city. So, I like it. Sure there'll be more on tap. Would like to see them do more with, like I said, Don Callis family. Get a lot of your talents over. It's time to really tighten up the product. Tell some stories. What I was fascinated about, and this is a little out of the box here, but I kept seeing, I think it was even maybe a little bit after I watched Dynamite last week, I kept seeing like promos on Instagram and social media for Young Bucks being at Wrestle Dynasty in New Japan, wrestling there. Then I also think, hey, Kenny Omega's there, wrestling at Wrestle Dynasty for New Japan. Why aren't they on your main television program right now? What's going on here? Like, I just don't get it. It's just very, very strange. But yeah, this should be a fun card. See how it goes. Take a little comments here. Wrestling Old Head says Ricochet is living up to his name, that's for sure. Let's see. I agree. Claudio is on his way up. Let's keep it going. Yeah, keep it going. Let's see. Oh, Evil. Who is Kev Kellum? Evil for sure. Evil. Oh, yes. I was saying Evil earlier to the Death Riders. That's right. Let's see. Oh, yeah. Jamie Hayter's a good one, too. Like, let's heat them out. I'm sure we'll get something with her and Julia Hart tonight, too. You know? Listen, I was talking to Magnum TA yesterday about Taya Valkyrie. She's there. She's on the AEW roster. We never see her. Maybe she's on Collision, but is she ever on Dynamite? Is Johnny TV ever on Dynamite? What the heck? Like, such you have some great talent, women's talent. You have Thunder Rosa. You have Taya Valkyrie. You have Deanna Purrazzo. You have my gosh, why am I Athena? And none of these women are on your main television show. Like, you want to build up some good rivals for Mariah May? There you go, right there. It's this is what drives me nuts about the show. Is like, yeah, sure, you have these other shows and you want to promote them, but let's be honest, you didn't do a good job when they were a viable commodity, when you could have done the right thing. You made them feel like shows that were worth skipping, that didn't need to be tuned into. It's a shame. It's a shame. And a lot of legwork for AEW to do to make this to get their stuff on the right track here. Yeah, when I tune into it, I enjoy elements of the product. There's no doubt about it. I enjoy the talent. I root for the talent, and I root for the success of that company to happen greatly. But it's just like, it's so frustrating of someone that started off watching it, covering it at the beginning stages of it, and to see what it just devolved into, where it's things feel so disorganized, and it just feels so okay. Oh, I have to. When's? Oh, this person's back. Okay, great. Hey, okay, we don't see him again for a while. All right. Well, I forgot about that guy. Forgot about that gal. It's just, you do right by your product, do right by your talent, and I understand you want, and I think it's great. Tony Khan takes care of so many talents, and has make sure that they have a job and everything like that. I think it's awesome, but there's a certain way that you can do that, and in the same turn have a great wrestling product week in and week out that intertwines and creates a lot of these things that makes it fun to tune in and gives people incentive to watch your main product, your main television show, which is Dynamite. But then hopefully you can transfer that over into getting Collision some eyes on that. Rampage is seemingly going away, so whatever new show you have, Shockwave, implemented into that, then there you go. I mean, like, if you're able to do that, that's great, and that's what you want to ultimately have happen. But look, like, to leave everything, this is what it boils down to. And we said this several times. This has been the thing several times. Tony Khan has too much on his plate. And like, God bless him for doing all this stuff, and like for having this passion and drive and willingness to spread himself thin to be able to cover not just wrestling, but work with the Jaguars and work with Fulham and all that stuff. But to make a great wrestling product, if you really want to do the best for everybody, you get a team together and you like iron this stuff out. You make this streamline and get those creative minds that, hey, give you suggestions like, why don't we do this? But let other people pass other people the ball instead of keeping the ball to yourself, because it's basically like Tony Khan is like, if he was in the LeBron James role, he's got nobody around him and he's just dribbling the ball by himself. When he's got on his team, he's got Shaq down in the paint, and he's got Steph Curry to the wing, and you name your other basketball players, like top basketball players, because he's got a lot of talent around him that it can help him out and that can do. But if you're just playing and covering, and everybody knows that it's just you booking, it's going to be hard to score any points. So, it's really on Tony Khan to just let go some of the reins here, hand the reins to somebody else, and then you are the ultimate overseer of it all. You can make the ultimate ending decision when it comes to stuff. But it's just like it's a micromanagement of a team. It's like Jerry Jones and the Dallas Cowboys. Here you go. It's Jerry Jones and the Dallas Cowboys. Jerry Jones, really fun personality. Synonymous with the team itself, and has is a personality in the NFL, a legend in the NFL. But when it comes down to it, Jerry Jones is all about, hey, I want to be the reason that this operation runs well. He booted out Jimmy Johnson back in the 90s. He did relax and get Bill Parcells in the mix for a couple of years, but then found somebody like a Jason Garrett to take over and stuff where it's Jerry Jones is the facilitator. Like, and at this point, he's in his 80s. He doesn't do the due diligence of all the work of, hey, I'm going to watch college tape of players that we could potentially draft or get coming up there. Yeah, I don't think there's no way Jerry Jones is watching any of that stuff. Where if you're a GM of an NFL team, that's part of your job. You're watching, what top prospects are coming through, what they need to do. Basically, what I'm saying is like Tony Khan's handling it all. He's the GM. He's the owner. But it's not, and he's got a team that plays 3 nights a week. And he's not taking, and so for him to, if he's seeing something like that and overseeing it, where you have coaches underneath you that can help you out, that can lighten your load and make things a lot more easier. And I understand, hey, he's the guy spending the paychecks. He can do what he wants. But if you want to make this product the best thing it possibly can be, you got to give it out there. You got to disperse the responsibilities out here and just make it happen. That's the crazy aspect of it all. So, holy crap. Let's see. Lou says, no idea of the contract status of Claudio and Cole, but if they ever come back to WWE, I'd mark out so hard for the party faction. Woods, Breeze, Swiss, Chugs together on Raw would be amazing. Yeah, I see what you're saying. But that's a really niche faction, right? Because if you're not watching Up, Down, Down, or, the gaming channels, then you're not attuned to any of that. I see where you're going with it, but would it really transfer over and make money for you from would it be a captivating story is what I'd be kind of concerned about, Lou. Wrestling on what it says, it's like AEW or the Power Rangers split up. Once they all find themselves, they can form a Megazord and battle Mega Goldar or something like that. I don't know, man. I get that. I like that. Yeah, see, we're all thinking of some weird analogies, right? Did we? Oh, Dom, you said we talked Jericho versus Cardona on today's show. Did I? Well, I think it's great. I think this is the right thing to do when it comes to ROH. That is one thing I will give credit to. And people may be upset that Jericho's like the ROH champion. I think it's perfect thing to do right now, especially if you're trying to build ROH up as a brand and hopefully maybe give it a television product, that people can tune into. So Jericho being your nueve here, and then on top of it, you get a newsworthy name like Matt Cardona to be facing off against him. I like it a lot. So I think it's a great thing to do. Cardona knows how to promote himself, and then in turn knows how to promote a match in a pro wrestling company. So good on them. I like it, and I think that's a good thing to do. Yes, I'm all for that, Devin Dowling. I think that is it. Cowboys suck. I used to be a Cowboys fan. That was my first team, actually. I liked Emmitt Smith a lot. He was my guy. And then once the New York Jets, my dad was a Joe Namath fan, and once the New York Jets got the Joe Namath style uniforms back in the late 90s, I started tuning into them a little bit. And they had an Italian quarterback named Vinny Testaverde. And I was like, hey, I'm Italian. He's Italian. The Jets are playing great. I like the Jets. So I became a Jets fan. And now I am suffering for it. Okay, so Joy J is giving us a little clarity. Thunder Rosa is entering a program with Mariah. Okay, good. Deanna and Taya were also on TV this week, just not the TV you wanted. I will push back against that. It's the TV that they should be on, because how many people watch Collision? If you look at the ratings, there's not a lot of people watching that. So you're not doing them a service by just strictly putting them on Collision. Right now, you need to be mindful of how everybody's portrayed on your main product, and then once you do cover the base of the mainstream show, you can branch out and put a Taya Valkyrie on there, or Deonna Purrazzo on there. So not the product I wanted. It's the product people are tuning into. So again, that's on AEW. That should not be my problem. It should not be something I want them on the main television show, but that should be something AEW wants to do if they want to get these talents over, because otherwise, no, I don't watch Collision. A lot of people don't watch Collision. So that's the issue. Wrestling Oldhead says, I know this is highly unlikely, but Kenny Omega going to WWE is not something I thought I wanted to see until now. To have matches with Sami Zayn, AJ Styles, Shinsuke, Rollins, even Punk. Look, I don't think anything's off the table. I think Omega's didn't he re-sign? Yeah, he re-signed with AEW, but yeah, it's just it's such a weird landscape for what we were expecting when AEW started. Like, man, this is a whole big, cool, rising team. Like, Kenny Omega is going to be the next big star that's going to really transcend the business and change AEW and boost AEW up. And they might not be surpass WWE, but they're going to be like almost neck and neck with them, and they had that chance. I really do believe maybe they would never ultimately have the global reach that WWE has, but they would have a fighter's chance to be like just right there with them, and people would be definitely associating it, especially if you're the ardent wrestling fan. So that is that. Who knows? Devin Dallin says, but is AEW screwing over GCW by booking this match at Hammerstein? Yeah, that's a good question. I think there might be a little bit going there. I have no inside information on this, Devin, whatsoever. But I do think the wrestling business is a fickle business. And so I am not putting it past anybody to kind of be taking pot shots at one another when it comes to stuff like that. I think there's a valid case to be made that, hey, GCW is promoting their shows and having a Hammerstein and stuff like that, as one of their venues that they've really brought back into the relevancy. And then all of a sudden AEW comes in. It is pretty coincidental. But in the same turn, if AEW has been listening to the fan base and listening to some pundits in pro wrestling, perhaps they were trying to heed some of that advice. Yeah, we should try to play some more intimate venues and make it a little bit more fun. So that could have always been on the plate for AEW. Maybe, hey, yeah, Hammerstein's a good one to go to. Let's just go to that. So, who knows? I think it's I think either or. I don't really think it hurts GCW like one way or the other if AEW is playing there. I just don't think it does. You could make an argument that the ardent fan thinks GCW is a hotter product right now than AEW. There's like talents. GCW does stuff that's outside the box when it comes to like putting on fun shows. Like, you think about it, like Little Guido and Ricky Morton are on those cards and stuff like that. They go out of the, like, Joey Janela faced Sean Waltman in the past and tagged with Sean Waltman in the past. Joey Janela faced Lash LaRue and Lash LaRue's return match. They do fun, wild stuff in GCW. So it hits a different note with ardent fans than what AEW hits on their product and what they're putting out there. So I don't think it necessarily hurts one way or the other. Ultimately, I'd love to see these promotions coexist with one another. You don't have to go all out, no pun not intended, but you don't have to go, the whole hog when it comes to, hey, GCW's crossing over, or this is that. But you could maybe have some fun with that too. You could. Um, right now, it's I don't know. Just I think really AEW is in such a tough spot right now to make themselves feel super duper relevant. But them playing the Hammerstein Ballroom, I think, is a good move. Uh, is it a cheap shot at GCW? I don't know, but I do think that them both playing that venue really doesn't affect either or in the grand scheme of things. I don't think it's really a big deal. Um, but like sounds like Tony Khan is upset with GCW, obviously pulling Ricky Starks and stuff like that. So yeah, there could be some of that there, but ultimately, I don't know. And maybe there is some pettiness because Willie Mack was set to be on that show. And if you asked me, is Willie Mack signed to AEW? I would have said, no, I don't think so. But apparently he is. And so he got pulled from there. So it does sound like Tony Khan's a little upset with that company, Brett Lauderdale and the gang. So I don't know. Really, your favorite QB all time was Jimmy G? Oh, Italian QB. Okay. I was gonna say. What about Joe Montana? Dan Marino? Who's another Italian quarterback that I was thinking of? What about Tommy DeVito? There's another one. Oh, Ben DiNucci. He's horrible. Ben DiNucci's horrible. I know I'm missing a very notable one. I think there was one that played backup for the Jets during the Joe Namath days. Babe something. I can't remember. Oh yeah, Rams and Niners tomorrow night. That should be a good one. Triple E says, yeah, it'll be good. Hopefully Kyle pulls another miracle out of his ass. Let's hope he doesn't get injured one game without someone getting hurt would be nice. Oh, you're talking about the Niners. I thought we are talking about Kyle O'Reilly. Still Matt Cardona. Well, Matt Cardona is a free agent though too. So I don't think that's a big, I don't think it's a big thing. But I think it's a fair thing to ask about, right? I do think it is. But hey, he's a free agent, so he can do what he wants. So that's the way it is, As Bruce Hornsby says, that's just the way it is. How far in advance do they have to book these things? Way too far in advance for it to be on purpose. Yeah, I think you can I think that's true. I do think some of the stuff, the logistics of all that need to be hammered out and things like that. But look, the 2300 gets played plenty of times by so many different wrestling promotions. NXT played there. MLW's played there. I believe GCW's played there. And then you have so many like independent wrestling shows happening there too. So, it's to have an exclusivity to a venue seems a little, I don't know. I don't think that's a thing too much. It's like WWE with Madison Square Garden. Yeah, that's maybe the one exception and stuff like that, and that's always been the case. But otherwise, like what? No, it's what? I think it's weird. Gerard J says booking that venue didn't happen overnight. It had to have been in the works. Okay, all right. Let's see. Wrestling Old Head says, in establishing a young brand, reasons should be given to tune into their product, and their cast of wrestlers should be given ample opportunity to present themselves to viewers for investment. Yes, I agree, Wrestling Old Head. I do. Ooh. Let's see. Gerard J says, I don't think the content on those shows aren't accessible. So if you want to see it, you can. If you don't want to, that's fine. Just doesn't seem like something to complain about when it's right. So if you're referring to like watching Collision and in comparison to watching Dynamite, this is a whole operation. They all should be coinciding with one another. Now, it'd be a different story if they delineated a brand split and they did a light one. Because like what you're saying, Roy J, we're seeing Taya Valkyrie on there. We're seeing Deonna Purrazzo on there. And we're not seeing them on Dynamite. Well, that's okay, but you did really nothing to indicate that there was, hey, this is the Collision brand. They're part of Collision. They're not part of this. And so, and FTR was more exclusive to Collision too. I understand CM Punk was as well. And I think when Danielson wrestled for a consistent basis, he was also kind of under the Collision banner. Same with Thunder Rosa. But look, you didn't really adhere to that too much. There was no clear distinction like that these talents would be on one brand or the other. And I don't. It's not good to do. It's not good for your product. These shows should run serendipitously with one another, where you want to give fans the incentive to tune in to these products. Maybe if they did the due diligence of promoting these shows. Hey, CM Punk is here, and he will be on Collision along with FTR, and this is their show along with this person, that person, and so this is different. This hits different than what you're seeing on Dynamite. Catch it Saturday nights. Then maybe they could have done that, and they did a little bit. I'll give them a little bit of credit, but not to the extent that they should have. And they really put way too more of a focus and the hype on Dynamite. So I think it is different. You're right, Jay. I just don't agree with you on that one. He says, for me, I hate wasting TV time showing things that already happened. But you have to. I get it, but you know what's going on. But does the casual fan know what's going on? Does somebody tuning into Collision for the first time know what's going on? No, they don't. That's just the name of the game. You have to follow up on stuff. You see WWE do that now, even on SmackDown and on Raw. They do recaps of what happened. Hey, this is what happened back on, if it was relevant to a story that they're telling, they'll tell it on there. So it's just an important part of running a wrestling company that's on television. We got some hatred for Tommy DeVito. Okay, I'll take this one. Forgot yesterday you mentioned Gambit. You see Deadpool versus Wolverine. Thoughts on it? I lost my mind when they did Wolverine variants. Wish they added Storm or Beast into the Heroes Brought Back. I love Deadpool versus Wolverine. IEEE actually wrote an article on SC Scoops saying what AEW could learn from Deadpool versus Wolverine. I think it's still they could still follow that. So if you want to dive deep, type in like SEScoops.com and type in Deadpool Wolverine, and that article should pop up. Give it a read. Tell me what you think. But yeah, I love that movie. It was great. Huge fan of Gambit. Yes, Cardona seems to show up everywhere. Hey, if you want to show up everywhere and look good and smell good and feel confident about yourself, let me talk to you about Mando. I love Mando. I love the product that they put out, the simplistic vibe and style that they give. They don't have to have all these fancy graphics or labels or anything like that. It's just straight up deodorant. It straight up makes you smell good. And it doesn't overpower. It doesn't pack a punch like an Axe body spray or name your other overpowering scent that you see in your deodorant aisle, whether it be at Target or something else. Mando gives you that scent that makes you smell good, but doesn't pack a crazy punch, which is overpowering. I love the Mount Fuji scent. There's so much that you can take away from Mando, and they do deodorant in so many different ways. Whole body deodorant, safe to use anywhere on your body. It's created by a doctor who saw firsthand how normal BO was being misdiagnosed and mistreated. And it's clinically proven to block odor all day and control odor for up to 72 hours. So they have a solid deodorant stick. They have a spray deodorant as well. And there's also all the products are baking soda free and they're paraben free too. So there's a great scents like bourbon leather, clover woods, Pro Sport, and my favorite, Mount Fuji. Clinically proven to control odor better than shower with soap alone. 12 hours after a shower, the average man's Grundle odor level was a 5 out of 10. With Mando, the average Grundle odor level is a 0 out of 10. How about that? So yes, Mando covers all your bases when it comes to that. Mando starter pack is perfect for new customers. It comes with a solid stick deodorant, cream tube deodorant, 2 free products of your choice like mini body wash and deodorant wipes, and free shipping. As a special offer for listeners, new customers get $5 off a starter pack with our exclusive code. That equates to over 40% off your starter pack. Use code RUMOR at shopmando.com. That's shopmando.com. Please support our show and tell them that me and Robert sent you. Smell fresher, stay drier, and boost your confidence from head to toe with Mando. All right. Yeah, I love Mando. It's a great product. Check it out. I just used the deodorant stick this morning after I got out of the shower. Let's see here. Following up on some stuff. Nine Disco says, I agree. Recaps can be annoying when they go long, especially, but every episode might have been someone's first. Yeah, and I will also agree that they can go long sometimes. And but yeah, if you're a fan and you're tuning in, a new person tuning in, and you're introducing your product to the person, this is like free advertising for what you're doing. So if you're chatting about if you're watching Raw and you're tuning in to Gunther confront Damian Priest and Finn Balor, but you have a moment to, hey, this is what happened to Cody Rhodes last week on SmackDown. Hey, who's this Cody Rhodes guy? Wow, okay, I kind of like him. Maybe I'll tune into SmackDown. There's always that opportunity for that. So, Wrestling Gold says, I really like it when WWE displays the wrestler's name under them in backstage segments. It's a really cool idea to connect casual viewers to new talent. Yeah, I completely agree. And, that could maybe get annoying to the ardent fan always tuning in. Like, oh, I know who he is. Yeah, I know who Caden Carter is. Well, it's cool that they do that because you're always introducing them to somebody new when they tune in. Wrestling Old Head also adds to Troy J. The recaps are designed for either just tuning in or missed a week. Not for the faithful, but I understand can be a sigh-inducing, including for faithful viewers. Yeah, and I've kind of grown to be like, okay, this is a little break from the product. I can tune out at this point. And maybe you don't want that to necessarily happen when it comes to like, hey, if you're WWE and you're trying to keep viewers tuned in. But, if you're a big enough fan, you're going to tune back in anyways. So it's like it gives you a little bit of a breather. Hey, if you need to go get a beer or something like that, you can go do that at the recaps or whatever. So who drew the shortest straw and had to smell all those? Yeah, that's a good point, Ron. I don't know. What scientist was doing that, right? Jeroy J follows up. I get the concept. There can be a balance, I suppose. I just don't think wrestling is all that complicated. If I was new, I'd think I'd get it pretty quickly. Yeah, wrestling should be simple, and it's in the grand scheme of it all. But if you want to make sure that you're giving this new viewer every incentive to tune into your product and to consume it more on a weekly basis, then you want to do the little details of, hey, here's a recap. This is what happened on SmackDown while you're watching Raw. So, yeah, there's a lot of commercials to tune out from too. I agree with that. So, yep, there is that. That's for sure. But so, yeah, let's see. I'm going to check out a little bit of the dirt sheet, see if there's anything else I want to chat upon while I look at stuff. Oh, Becky Lynch is doing some Magic the Gathering stuff. I never got into Magic the Gathering. I never got into the card games like Pokemon or what's another one? I know Magic's the other one, but yeah, there's some different ones. That's for sure. Excited about. We'll cover this tomorrow. Excited about Saturday night's main event. Really should be a fun show. I'm pretty pumped for that. Yeah, I like that a lot. Love nostalgia and stuff like that. What? Wow. Ryan Leaf was on NXT last night? That's great. That's awesome, actually. I really like that. Man. So Ryan Leaf was like, I was just really getting invested into football, like at that point in time. I was about 13 years old, 13 or 12, and Ryan Leaf and Peyton Manning were the top picks for quarterbacks at the time. And there was a lot of promise in Ryan Leaf. And wow, just what a fall from grace he had. But I got to say, he made the most of, he bounced back. Like he did it, for his attitude issues. I think he had, I don't want to say outright, but I believe there was substance abuse issues as well. I'm almost positive there was. And so like he bounced back and he's kind of created a cool, satisfying brand for himself. So neat to see him in the mix there too. So yeah, good stuff. I like that. I did not know he was in NXT. Yeah, I'm gonna have to tune into NXT a little bit more. Just like so much on my plate to be doing. I like yesterday I recorded with Magnum TA. Greg Gagne was not here yesterday, but me and Magnum recorded an episode. And then I try to do the outside of life stuff, like working out and trying to stay healthy and do that stuff. So like I was not in front of my television for NXT. Um, yeah, and then Devin adds that Ryan Leaf is on the CW broadcasting team, so I think that's why he was involved somehow. Good for them. That's still good to do. Yeah, you should be doing that too if you're the network, getting your other stuff over, and that's a good wrestling's a good way to do that. It's a good channel to have that in. Um, oh wow, yeah, this is a pretty hot take. Wrestling Old Head. I sort of want to see Trick Williams confronted by Velveteen Dream. I just don't think there's value in Velveteen anymore. I think a lot of talents have uh, done what Velveteen does in a different manner, and it's been effective for them. And so I think with the bringing it, the risk is worth more. The risk is not as worth the reward when it comes to Velveteen Dream. Uh, but yeah, I understand. Um, So yeah, I think that's it. I think that's all I'm going to cover. I don't really see anything that really blows my hair back when it comes to wrestling news. Um, take one more look here and see if there's anything else I want to talk about. Um, nah, I think that'll do it. Hope Bronson Reed has a speedy recovery. He was on a good run, and obviously it's a shame that he got injured and that stalled what's going on. But you see people come back, and absence makes the heart grow fonder. So I like. Hopefully they'll be doing that. Hopefully they'll do that with him and make him feel like a big deal. I also saw quickly on social media that Ethan Page happened to do a twist of fate on NXT and thought that was cool. And Matt Hardy commented on it saying that he approved of it and that he approves of Ethan Page. So pretty cool stuff. Neat to see that all happen across the board here. So no, okay, Triple E, this is yes. No, I'm very much against declawing cats. Cats need those. It's you're basically taking away their defense mechanism and what they can do. It's part of who they are and what they're about. Yeah, I don't yeah I it's a shame when I see cats get declawed because what can they do? They're after that. No, I'm not for declawing cats whatsoever. Man, yeah, it's just not about that. So uh, yeah, I don't like that. Oh wow, Devin had said declawing cats are legal in New York. Yeah, so uh, let's see. Dom, Droid, Triple E, Devin, Disco, Jones, Ron Ward. Good day to all you. Great chat. Yeah, thanks for chiming in, Wrestling Old Head. Always like the input you give. I know you shared me something with me. I got to watch too on social media, so I'll be sure to check that out as well. Dre, so I did buy him a Christmas sweater years back, and then I also for Halloween I went as Han Solo, and I so Dom Solo. That's my Xbox username, by the way, is Dom Solo, straight up. But so I bought him a little Chewbacca harness, but I'm always paranoid about putting clothes on him. And it's not like he'd be all for that anyways. But I would think I get kind of worried as like that might just stress him out. And then what if he starts pissing all over my house and stuff like that? So I was like, I don't want to do any of that. So again, much like Velveteen Dream, the risk is not worth the reward. So do not dress my cat up. Let's see. All right. That's it for today. I will be back tomorrow. Still kind of want to get guests. Maybe I will do that tomorrow. Friday, just a little notification. The show planned for a 2 p.m. show on Friday. I have an appointment I have to go to at 11:30 on Friday, but I still want to do Rumor and Innuendo, so I'm going to plan to do one at 2 p.m. Friday afternoon. So mark your calendars for that one. So tomorrow will be normal time, then Friday will be 2 p.m. Like I said yesterday, I went live with Magnum TA. We covered SmackDown. Did we cover a little bit? Yeah, we covered a little bit of SmackDown. We mostly talked about Raw. Magnum had some great thoughts about Jesse Ventura, the New Day, how they've been handled. Gunther, we got do a lengthy talk on Gunther and overall what we think of him. Magnum talks about fighting Kamala at Great American Bash way back when. And we also close it out with thoughts on the Ray Phoenix stuff that's been going on. We also talk about Tully Blanchard and how he was one of, if not, Magnum TA's greatest rival. So that's up now on FourHorsemanNetwork.com. It will be up on the podcast feed here. I'm going to put it up tomorrow. It'll be up tomorrow. So also today on Four Horsemen, type in Four Horsemen Network on your podcast feed of choice and subscribe, because that's where you get the Arn. Arn's now on Four Horsemen Network, that podcast feed. It's on a new podcast feed. So if you want new episodes of Arn, he just recorded one yesterday, and that will be up later today. The new episode of that will be up in audio form. And so be sure to like and subscribe to FourHorsemanNetwork.com and OneTrueSportTV.com. Tomorrow, 9:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, me and RVD will go live on RVDTV.com and on RVD's YouTube channel. So be sure to tune in, interact with me and Rob. We have a blast on there. I never know sometimes where the show's going, because we let the fans lead the way a lot of the times with some great questions and everything like that. So I always do have topics planned out, but sometimes I don't even get to them. But Rob covers a lot of great ground. So we're going to go live tomorrow night, 9:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So RVDTV.com. Be sure to like, subscribe, help build that show up and get the word out about that show. I love doing it. And I love interacting with everybody on there as well. When it comes to Robert, December 14th, this weekend, if you're in Boca Raton, Florida, go to Boca Raton Championship Wrestling and go and meet QT Marshall. You can meet Robert there too. But if you bring a toy donation or a $20 deposit to Smushy Squishies, his daughter's charity, you get to meet and greet with QT Marshall. So be sure to do that. December 14th, Boca Raton Championship Wrestling. Look it up online and get all the pertinent information there. So shout out to Robert. Will be nice to have him back next week. But yeah, so be sure to check that out. And I think that's it. That's all I got to plug. Appreciate everybody chiming in. I'll take one more look at the chat here. Oh, nice. Devin just subscribed to 1TS. Thank you so much, Devin. Really appreciate it. We want to get the word out about that. More big stuff to come for that network. That's me, Marcus, and Paul Bromwell's big network. We have a lot of wrestlers that we work with under that umbrella when it comes to merchandise and things like that. And we're going to bring some more stuff to you in 2025. Very excited. Be on the lookout for a pretty cool announcement coming up here. I want to say Friday. So some neat stuff on the forefront for One True Sport. So there we go. All right, everybody. I will see you tomorrow. We'll talk a little bit what happened on the Dynamite, what happened on the Winter is Coming, and see what else we'll talk about too. So see you tomorrow. Best of luck in your future endeavors. And shout out to Ryan Leaf. Shout out to Jimmy Garoppolo.